All right, let's get right into it. Today, we're taking a deep dive into getting you ready for a tent installer interview.
Yeah, these are the folks that put up those huge tents for concerts, festivals, even those like really big circus tents.
It's a job that needs a lot more than just strength, friend.
Oh, yeah.
You need some serious know-how, attention to detail, and the ability to work outdoors in all kinds of conditions.
And sometimes crazy conditions.
So do you think you got what it takes?
I think so. Let's see.
Well, let's find out. To help you totally nail this interview, we've got a super helpful career guide and interview guide filled with sample questions and expert insights. Plus, we're going to be using the power of RoleCatcher's AI to give you that extra advantage.
Yeah, and speaking of getting an edge, the career guide stresses how important it is to have some hands-on experience.
Oh, okay.
Even if it's just helping out an experienced installer or maybe volunteering with the local crew, just getting that practical knowledge will make a huge difference.
Okay, so real-world experience is key.
Yeah.
But let's get down to like the nitty-gritty, the interview itself.
Yeah.
The interview guide's got the top 10 questions you're most likely to face, and we're going to go through them one by one. So you're ready for anything.
Sounds good.
Okay. All right, here's the first one. What experience do you have in tent installation? Now, you might think, whoa, that's pretty straightforward.
Mm-hmm.
But how do you really impress them with your answer?
Well, the key here is to show how your experience is relevant to the job.
Okay.
Think about the skills you have that could be used in this job too. Transferable skills. Have you worked on construction projects? Set up big displays?
Yeah.
Maybe you've even organized some complex events. All of these things show you can handle the demands of tent installation, even if you haven't been setting up tents specifically.
All right, so don't undersell yourself. Even experiences that don't seem related can show you have the skills they're looking for. Now, the interview guide also mentions a bit of a tricky follow-up question. Tell me about a time you had to solve a problem during a tent installation. So how do you handle this one?
This is your time to shine. Pick a situation that really shows your problem-solving skills in action. Maybe a time you had to think quickly when some equipment broke or adapt to some crazy weather that popped up.
Yeah.
The key is to show you stayed calm, figured out the situation, and found a solution. And of course, you always want to keep safety in mind.
Okay, I love it. So moving on to question number 2. How do you ensure the safety of the tent installation? Now, we all know that a tent collapsing in strong wind is bad news. Safety is like the most important thing in this job, right?
It's super important.
Yeah. So what are the main points to hit in your answer?
You really want to show you deeply understand safety protocols. Think about it from the ground up, literally. Mention how important it is to check for underground utilities before you even start putting in those stakes. Yeah.
Talk about the right ways to anchor the tent so it can handle wind and other bad weather.
Right. It's not just about knowing the steps, but understanding why you do them.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And be ready for more questions about specific safety hazards. Like, do you have experience working high up, operating heavy machinery? They want to know you have the skills and training to handle these situations safely. Okay, on to question number 3. How do you handle unexpected weather conditions during tent installation?
Oh, boy.
Mother Nature can be a real pain sometimes, especially when you're trying to put up these giant tents. So what's the interviewer really looking for here?
Flexibility and adaptability. Tent installation is an outdoor job, so things don't always go as planned. You got to show them you're a problem solver and you're proactive. Do you carefully check weather forecasts? Do you have backup plans just in case it rains or gets windy? Can you change installation times if you need to?
Yeah.
These are all signs of someone who knows what they're doing and can handle anything.
All right, let's try question number 4. How do you manage your time when installing multiple tents at the same event?
Ooh, good one.
Picture this. You've got a festival with a ton of different tents, all with different deadlines. How do you handle all of that?
Organization and prioritization are your best friends in this situation. Talk them through your process. Do you make really detailed schedules? Delegate tasks to your team? Use tools or systems to keep track of how things are going? It's all about showing you can stay on top of things and keep those installations running smoothly.
And of course, there's always a follow-up. Something like, tell me about a time you had to adjust your schedule because something unexpected happened. Any advice on tackling that one?
This is a great chance to tell a good story. Think of a time when maybe a delivery was late, equipment broke down, or a sudden storm messed up your plans.
Oh, yeah.
How did you adapt, solve the problem, and keep everything on track?
Now for a question that can be a little tricky. How do you handle difficult clients or customers during the tent installation process? We've all had to deal with difficult people. How do you show the interviewer you can handle them professionally and with grace?
It's all about showing off those amazing communication and conflict resolution skills you've got. The key is to stay calm, even if the client's getting upset. Emphasize active listening.
Yeah.
Show them you understand their concerns. Then focus on finding solutions that work for everyone.
So it's about calming things down and keeping a good working relationship even when things get a bit tense.
Exactly. And be ready for a follow-up question like, give me an example of a time you successfully resolved a conflict with a client. Have a specific story ready where you showed patience, diplomacy, and found a solution that worked for everyone.
Okay, let's move on to question number 6. How do you ensure the tent installation meets the client's expectations? Now, this isn't just about setting up a tent. It's about making them really happy and going above and beyond.
Yeah, client satisfaction is everything in this business. Show the interviewer that you're proud of your work and you want to deliver amazing results. Talk about how you make sure everyone's on the same page from the beginning. Do you go over the plans really carefully? Ask questions to understand their vision. Do you do thorough quality checks? These all show you're proactive and detail-oriented.
All right, let's get a little more technical with question number 7. How do you maintain and repair tents? This is where those hands-on skills are super important.
Definitely. Be ready to talk about different tent materials, common wear and tear issues, and how you fix them. Have you ever patched a hole in a tent, replaced a broken zipper? Show them you have the skills to keep those tents in great shape.
Okay, here's a question that's really important these days. How do you ensure that the tent installation is environmentally friendly? How can you show that you're not just a skilled installer, but also a responsible one?
This is where you show you care about the environment. Talk about using biodegradable materials whenever you can, minimizing waste, and properly disposing of anything that can't be reused or recycled. You can even mention if you have any experience with eco-friendly tent materials or designs.
Okay, moving on to question number 9, and this one's all about making sure everyone feels welcome. How do you ensure that the tent installation is ADA compliant?
It's really important to show that you understand how important accessibility is for everyone. Be familiar with ADA regulations and be ready to talk about how you include them in your work. For example, you can talk about having accessible entrances and pathways, ramps for wheelchairs, and enough space for people to move around comfortably.
Right. Rounding out our top 10 is a question that might seem a little broad. How do you ensure that the tent installation meets safety codes and regulations? How can you give a good answer to this without getting too lost in the details?
The key is to show that you know about industry standards and you're dedicated to following the rules. Be familiar with the codes and regulations in your area and be ready to give specific examples of how you use them in your work. Talk about getting the necessary permits, following fire safety rules, and making sure there's proper ventilation and electrical setup. And don't forget to mention that you stay up to date on any changes to the codes and regulations.
Wow, we just flew through those 10 questions.
Okay.
But before we jump into the next part of our deep dive, let's take a quick look at some career insights from the Career Guide. What stands out to you?
Well, one thing that's really interesting is that tent installation isn't just a job. It can be a great career with real opportunities to move up. You could become a supervisor, a manager specialized in something specific like logistics or technical support, or even start your own tent installation business.
And the guide also talks about how important it is to keep learning, staying updated on what's new in the industry, taking workshops, maybe even getting certified. All of that can make you stand out from other people applying for the same job.
Absolutely. The field is always changing with new materials, technologies, and safety practices, so showing you're committed to professional development is really important.
All right, so we've talked about the job. We've tackled those top 10 interview questions. Now let's see how RoleCatcher's AI can take your preparation to a whole new level.
This is where things get exciting. RoleCatcher's AI is like having a personal interview coach right there on your phone. It looks at job descriptions to find the exact skills employers are looking for, and then it helps you shape your answers to really hit the mark.
So it's like it knows what the interviewer is thinking and helps me tailor my answers to what they want.
Yeah, you got it. Maybe the job description focuses on teamwork, problem solving, or that client-focused attitude we talked about earlier. The AI will pick up on those things and help you weave those elements into your responses so you really connect with the interviewer.
Okay, I love that. It's not about being fake or trying to be someone you're not. It's about highlighting the parts of your experience that are most relevant to this specific job.
Exactly. It's about showing the best, most relevant version of yourself. Now, remember, we went through those top 10 interview questions, but sometimes they throw in a curveball question,
Oh,
right?
yeah, definitely. Those are the ones that can really trip you up.
Well, that's where RoleCatcher's AI can really help. It can help you get ready for those unexpected questions and prepare good answers ahead of time.
Okay, let's try out this AI. I'm going to throw out some potential curveball questions, and you share your insights on how to approach them using that rule catcher magic. Ready?
Let's do it. I'm feeling confident.
All right, here's a classic. Tell me about a time you had to work under a tight deadline. Now, this could come up in any interview, but how can RoleCatcher's AI help me craft a really good response, specifically for a tent installer role?
Well, the AI would immediately start looking at that job description for keywords related to time management efficiency and meeting deadlines. It might pick up on phrases like fast-paced environment, ability to prioritize tasks, or meeting project
So
timelines.
it's helping me focus on the specific time management skills that are really valued in this job.
Exactly. Then, when you're practicing your answer, you can use the AI's feedback to make sure you're emphasizing those skills and giving specific examples that show you can work well under pressure. Think about a time when you had to set up a tent quickly and efficiently, maybe, while dealing with unexpected problems along the way.
I'm starting to see how this works. Okay, here's another one. Describe a situation where you had to work as part of a team to achieve a common goal. Teamwork is obviously super important in tent installation. How can I use the AI to really show off my collaborative skills?
The AI would focus on keywords related to communication, collaboration, and solving problems as a group. Think about phrases like team player, strong communication skills, or ability to resolve conflicts effectively. The AI will highlight those and help you structure your response.
So it's guiding me to show my ability to not just work alongside others, but to actively contribute to the team's success.
Exactly. Remember, it's not just about saying I'm a team player. It's about
Yeah.
giving specific examples of how you've communicated well, worked together to find solutions, and maybe even helped resolve conflicts within a team.
Okay, this is making a lot of sense. All right, last one, and it's the question that everyone hates. What are your salary expectations? Ugh, how can RoleCatcher's AI help me navigate this tricky question?
Don't worry, the AI has got you covered. This is where its research capabilities really come in handy. It can analyze salary data for similar roles in your location, taking into account your experience level and industry trends.
So it's like having a personal salary negotiator, giving me data-driven insights to help me figure out a fair and competitive salary range.
Exactly. It takes the guesswork out of it and helps you approach the salary conversation with confidence.
This AI is amazing. Now, before we move on, I want to go back to something you mentioned earlier, the idea of specializing within the tent installation industry. The career guide mentioned that briefly, but I'd love to hear more about what those specializations might look like.
It's an exciting area. As the industry grows, there's more and more need for specialized skills. Think about you could become an expert in a particular type of tent structure, like tension fabric structures or clear span structures.
Oh, wow, that sounds interesting. What else?
Well, you could focus on a specific part of the installation process, like logistics or safety management, or you could even specialize in a particular type of event, like concerts, festivals, or corporate events.
So there's really a path for everyone, depending on their interests and skills.
Absolutely. And specializing can not only make you more attractive to employers, but it can also lead to higher pay.
Okay, I'm definitely going to look into those specialization options more. Now I think it's time to dive back into RoleCatcher's AI and uncover even more of its secrets.
I'm ready when you are.
All right, we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back with more.
Stay tuned. Okay, so are you ready to get back to those interview questions? I know we were talking about passion, but we still have a lot to talk about.
Yeah, definitely. And speaking of passion, let's explore how RoleCatcher's AI can help you really express that enthusiasm in an interview. It's one thing to feel passionate about something, but how do you show that to a potential employer?
That's where the AI really shines. It's not just giving you some generic advice. RoleCatcher's AI actually looks at the specific job description you're interested in and picks out the keywords and phrases that show what the employer's really looking for.
So it's kind of like reading the interviewer's mind and helping me tailor my answers to their expectations.
Exactly. Maybe the job description emphasizes teamwork problem solving or that client-focused approach we talked about earlier. The AI will see those things and help you include those elements in your answers in a way that really resonates.
Okay, I love that.
Yeah.
It's not about being fake or pretending to be someone you're not. It's about highlighting the parts of your experience that are most relevant to this particular job.
Exactly. It's about showing the best, most relevant version of yourself. Now, remember, we talked about those top 10 interview questions, but sometimes you get those curveball questions that you don't expect, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Those are the ones that can really throw you off.
Well, this is where RoleCatcher's AI can be really helpful. It can help you anticipate those unexpected questions and prepare some thoughtful answers ahead of time.
Okay, so let's put this AI to the test. I'm going to throw out some potential curveball questions, and you can tell me how to approach them using that role catcher magic. Ready?
I'm ready. Let's do it.
All right, here's a classic. Tell me about a time you had to work under a tight deadline. Now, this could come up in any interview, but how can RoleCatcher's AI help me come up with a great response specifically for a tent installer role?
Well, the AI would immediately start looking at that job description for keywords that are related to time management, efficiency, and meeting deadlines. It might find phrases like fast-paced environment, ability to prioritize tasks, or meeting project timelines.
So it's helping me zero in on the specific time management skills that are most important in this job.
Exactly. Then when you're practicing your answer, you can use the AI's feedback to make sure you're emphasizing those skills and giving concrete examples that demonstrate your ability to work effectively under pressure. Think about a time when you had to set up a tent quickly and efficiently, maybe even dealing with some unexpected challenges along the way.
Okay, I'm starting to see how this works. All right, here's another one. Describe a situation where you had to work as part of a team to achieve a common goal. Teamwork is so important in tent installation, right?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
So how can I use the AI to really show off my teamwork skills?
The AI would focus on keywords related to communication, collaboration, and problem solving as a group. So think about phrases like team player, strong communication skills, or ability to resolve conflicts effectively. The AI will highlight those things and help you structure your response.
So it's guiding me to show my ability to not just work with others, but to actively help the team succeed.
Exactly. Remember, it's not just about saying I'm a team player. It's about giving specific examples of how you've communicated well, worked together to find solutions, and maybe even helped resolve conflicts within a team.
Okay, this is making a lot of sense. All right, last one, and this is the question I think everyone dreads. What are your salary expectations? How can RoleCatcher's AI help me handle this tricky question?
Oh, don't worry. The AI can help with this too. This is where its research abilities are really helpful. It can look at salary data for similar jobs in your area, taking into account your experience level and industry trends.
So it's like having a personal salary negotiator right there on your phone, giving me data-driven insights to help me determine a fair and competitive salary range.
Yeah, you got it. It takes the guesswork out of it and helps you talk about salary with confidence.
This AI is really impressive. Now, before we move on, I want to go back to something you mentioned earlier, the idea of specializing within the tent installation industry. The career guide mentioned that, but I'd love to hear more about what those specializations might actually look like.
It's a really interesting area. As the industry grows, there's a growing demand for specialized skills. Think about it. You could become an expert in a particular type of tent structure, like tension fabric structures or clear span structures.
Wow, that sounds cool. What else?
Well, you could focus on a specific part of the installation process, like logistics or safety management. Or you could even specialize in a certain type of event, like concerts, festivals, or corporate events.
So there are paths for everyone, depending on their interests and what they're good at.
Exactly. And specializing can make you more valuable to employers, and it can even lead to earning more money.
Yeah, okay. I'm definitely going to have to look into those specialization options more. Now I think it's time to get back to RoleCatcher's AI and see what else it can do.
Sounds good. I'm ready.
Okay, welcome back for the last part of our Tent Installer Deep Dive. We've talked about a lot the skills you need, those tough interview questions, and how RoleCatcher's AI can really help you prepare. Now let's zoom out a bit and look at the bigger picture.
I like this part thinking about the future of tent installation. What's really cool is how much this industry is changing. The career guide talks about a shift towards using more advanced materials. Lighter, stronger fabrics, even ones that can control temperature or light.
So it's not just those basic canvas tents anymore.
No, not at all. We're seeing all these innovative designs that are much more energy efficient and way easier to set up and take down. And they can withstand some really extreme weather.
Wow, it sounds like this job is getting a lot more technical, almost like a mix of construction and engineering.
Yeah, you're right. And that's opening up a lot of possibilities for specialization. The career guide even talks about roles like tent design consultant or sustainability specialist, where you're really focusing on the environmental impact of these installations.
Okay, that's really interesting. And speaking of sustainability, what are some of the things happening in that area?
There's a big push towards using recycled and biodegradable materials, trying to reduce waste during installation, and even including things like solar panels or rainwater harvesting systems in the designs.
So it's not just about building impressive structures anymore, it's about doing it responsibly too.
Exactly. And being committed to sustainability isn't just good for the environment, it's good for business too. More and more clients are looking for eco-friendly options, so companies that prioritize sustainability have a real advantage.
That makes sense. Okay, before we wrap up, I want to touch on one more thing that the career guide talks about.
All right, what is it?
Networking. It's super important in any job, but especially in tent installation where relationships are so important.
Yeah, for sure. Making those connections with event planners, rental companies, and even those big circus companies can open up so many opportunities.
So what's the best way to build those connections?
Well, going to industry events is a great way to meet people in person. Joining professional organizations can help you stay up to date and give you access to resources and mentors. And don't forget about social media. Being active on platforms like LinkedIn can help you connect with people in the industry and showcase your skills.
That's great advice. Okay, let's quickly recap everything we've covered in this deep dive. We started with the skills you need to be successful as a tent installer, and then we went through those top 10 interview questions, giving you the tools to create really strong answers.
hmm We also talked about how RoleCatcher's AI can take your preparation to the next level, helping you customize your answers, get personalized feedback, and really make a good impression on potential employers.
And we finished up with a look at what's happening in the industry right now. All those cool new technologies, the importance of sustainability, and the power of networking.
I think our listeners are ready to go out there, nail those interviews, and build some amazing things.
I think so too. So to everyone out there who wants to be a tent installer,
Yeah.
go for it. Do your best in those interviews and build something incredible. We're rooting for you.
Good luck.